Oh, well, I guess they're starting. I didn't get to introduce myself, but this minute and 8 cutscene that we have at the beginning will prove useful for that purpose. So I'm Daniel RGT, and I'll be commentating this match. As HunterRNG versus BrStallings23. There's a bit of lore with this match, specifically. Both of these players really wanted to face each other in the Boogie% tournament this year. And so we're out of group stages. They were not in each other's groups because they're both fairly competent runners, pretty good. So they weren't placed in the same grouping just because we tried to vary the groupings based on skill level. And now the bracket phase has started, and they're the first match of the brackets for the first round. And the rivalry is real between them. They both want to run really bad, and they're both excellent runners. So we'll see how this one goes. For those who are not familiar with Earthbound, you're awoken to a meteorite crashing into the Earth. It's nearby your house, but we go outside and we're going to be picking up a couple things. First, we pick up this cracked bat and we're going to equip it. The reason we pick up this cracked bat and equip it, apart from just being like a good offense item to have to start, is because later on, Pokey will yell at you if you don't equip it. He actually threatens to stab you, and it's just real mean. But they'll just be walking up to the top of the hill, talking to the aforementioned Pokey, and they'll be making our way down at the bottom. So this is just some setup to the story, some pretty generic RPG setup. So it's real important for the story, but for the speed run, it's just something we have to get through specifically. So it looks like Hunter off with a little early lead here, just based on better movement and better equipment, better menuing. But these early leads don't really amount to a lot. They don't really mean much. So it's a thing. It's not a huge deal that Hunter has this lead for Stallings. And I doubt Stallings is even aware of it. A lot of runners don't necessarily want to know where they are in relation to the other runner. They just kind of want to play their game, which I am a proponent of. I'm a big fan of that. So you go back home and talk to your mom. Then you're gonna hear some real annoying knocking. It's real terrible. And that'll wake us up, and that advances the plot. So coming up right after this story exposition is when we'll see the runners first deal with spawns and the things they can do to get around them, and movement and knowing how enemies move is very important in Earthbound. Earthbound is an RPG where the enemies are on the overworld, so you can avoid enemies if you're knowledgeable about how they move and what enemies they are and stuff. So you'll see 3 types of enemies on this hill. You're going to be seeing snakes, crows, and dogs. Specifically, the runners will be looking more for snakes and crows because those are the easiest to get around. Crows can only move in a zigzag pattern in left to right motion. So if they want to move straight down, they couldn't just move straight down. They'd have to zigzag left to right downwards. Snakes only move when nest moves, but only about on the 3rd or 4th frame of movement. So we do a technique called stutter stepping, where if you tap the D-pad and only get those first couple frames of movement every single time, then you're able to move without the enemy moving towards you. And lastly, the dog, which is probably the thing that they'll trying to despawn every time. Dogs kind of just run at you. There's no real way to abuse their movement other than to get them stuck on things. Dogs have a kind of fat hitbox, and they get stuck on things real easy. So you see that crow there? The Hunter just kind of walked by. He kind of knew he was stuck there. Stallings getting the double dog, but the tree, obviously very, very useful for getting enemies stuck on. Hunter doing an early example of stutter stepping here. This is actually pretty bold from him, but he luckily got another snake, so he's probably going to stutter on this too. Stallings just took the dogfight. That's not a bad thing to do in this scenario. So dogfight is the least dangerous fight and also gives you the most experience. So he's going to get 4 experience from this, which means after this first boss coming up, which you can't lose to, he's going to be level 3, as opposed to Hunter, who's saving time by not taking a fight, but he'll only be level 2. So Stallings can make up that time on like a Pogo Punk fight later, just because he has better stats and he has more survivability. Hunter may die. You see Stallings doing a good job there of getting that dog stuck on the tree like that, and then just walking around it. Very, very well done. So Hunter getting to the top of the hill at about like 520, and Stallings is about to get there at about like 535, something like that. I'm counting if like when they talk to Picky. So there's about like a 15-second difference between the two of them, which, considering that Stallings got into a fight, is actually not much. And Stallings could take the lead depending on the Starman fight. So Hunter showing off a little graphical glitch there. Boogie percent is technically a glitchless category, but a little graphical glitch like that is harmless and doesn't actually affect the game in any way. The way that works is if you have a controller plugged into the second controller port, and while that beam of light is happening, if you mash on select, it like makes the light wig out, and it looks super funny. But so they'll be coming up to Starman, which is the first boss of the run. It's boss in like air quotes or just real quotes, because you can't really die to Starman without doing like some elaborate setup that would take like an hour to do. Or you'd have to, it's not even worth really mentioning, but you'd have to grind to like level like 11 or 10 or 12, or you'd have to get until you have shield to replace Buzz's shield that he puts on you. So it's real not worth it. There's no point in doing it in a speedrun, but you can do it technically. But otherwise you just walk up and you fight Starman. Starman has 4 different types of attacks technically. Fire Alpha, Fire Beta, Freeze Alpha, and Defend. The fastest animation is what you want. So Defend is what you want most every single turn, because Defend is the fastest animation, the least amount of text, everything. So you want Starman to defend as much as possible. Unfortunately, Fire Beta is the thing that is like most common and uses the most amount of time, because you see it hits every single person in the party, and so the text there on the Hunter, you saw it, is like, oh, the shield ate up that fire, the shield ate up that fire, the shield ate up that fire. So you see the second Fire Beta. Buzz has attack there for 70. Buzz has 2 types of attacks he can do, a strong attack or a weak attack, and that was his weak attack. Starman has 200 HP, so Hunter still needs about 130 HP left there. 57, that's not good enough, so that's going to be a 3 cycle at least for Hunter. Stallings, on the other hand, getting the strong attack from Buzz. 117 on the first round. That is pretty good. So we can see Stallings make up some time here with possibly a 2 cycle Starman, as opposed to Hunter, who's getting the 3 cycle Starman. And it's just RNG, and the fires, and Stallings got a guard there, and there's the 2 cycle, it's right there. And so Stallings takes the lead and is level 3 for this coming up Pogo Punk fight. So he's actually in a better position than Hunter right now. There's not a lot of time difference between them though, but Stallings definitely made up a lot of time by getting the 2 cycle as opposed to Hunter, who got the 3 cycle. So Stallings probably about like 5 to 6 seconds ahead now. We'll see this lead kind of shift back and forth between the 2 of them, unless one of them dies to somewhere in a net, which that comes into play now. So from here on out, there's a lot of things that can kill you. Specifically, the boss fights coming up. We'll be fighting Frank first, Frank and his tank, and then we'll be fighting Titanic Ant, and then we'll be fighting the police, just a regular police. But all of those fights are extremely dangerous and can go very poorly, and you don't have a lot of control over them. If the game wants to kill you, it will. We have obviously safety methods and stuff like that to like mitigate the chance of us dying, and they're there, but that doesn't always save us. And so I'll go more into that, the specifics when we get there. But here we have Buzz, who was the person who helped us kill Starman Jr., and now he did. He did because he got smacked by Lardna. Lardna is the wife of Aloysius, who is the father of Pokey and Picky. They got fantastic names in this family. That's Lardna Minch. So now Onett becomes day, and your adventure begins. And it's if you've played Mother 1, the start of when the music is becoming day is a throwback to Mother 1. It's like part of the Mother 1 theme. And we'll see Stallings there. He could have started that snake, but I think he was possibly afraid of an enemy being ahead of it. And now they're basically synced up just because of that despawn. Hunter didn't have to despawn anything. So you'll see they'll be going into this treehouse, and they'll be grabbing this Mr. Baseball Cap. Wow, they're almost like frame for frame. They'll be grabbing this Mr. Baseball Cap. I expect to see them both equip it. The equipping it isn't to use it. Like we're not gonna keep that Mr. Baseball Cap for very long. But when you buy things in this game, the shopkeeper offers to equip the new item that you just purchased. So what we'll be doing is we'll be buying a worst hat, technically, and then equipping that over the Mr. Baseball Cap, and then he'll offer to buy our Mr. Baseball Cap on top of it. So. And then that extra money will let us buy the cheap bracelet, which gives us overall more defense than just the Mr. Baseball Cap. So you see Hunter doing a walk behind the hospital here. That is to ensure that there are no spawns right in front of this arcade. There's I don't want to say logic error because it's definitely there's an error in like the programming or something like that makes it so that the bottom most right spawn tile like of the screen doesn't spawn. So when we walk like that, we make sure it doesn't spawn like that. So Stallings getting the smash on that first Pogo Punk, and it's he's gotten a small lead just because of it. That level 3 paying off real quickly for him. He got charged 4. He's probably gonna heal here using the bread roll. Yep, just like I called it. And he's gonna auto fight. For the most part, he's safe for the rest of this fight. If Ness misses, then he could possibly die. But Hunter had a cleaner second Pogo Punk, so now we're seeing the lead still shift back and forth. I don't think Stallings is gonna heal before this hula hoop dude. Oh, he did. I would have just gone for it. For the most part, this guy is harmless. He can swing his hula hoop twice in a row and possibly kill you, but I'd rather risk that, to be honest. Which streamer looks better? I mean, I can't see them. I'm only looking at their screens. I mean, if we're gonna talk about stream, I don't want to put anybody on blast about stream quality. I mean, Stallings is looking pretty nice. So Hunter's coming into Frank right now, and so Stallings. So when we're talking about Frank, every single time you take damage from Frank, you're gonna want to heal. It doesn't matter how much he hits you for. He could hit you for 1 damage, and you better heal that amount. There's no way he can hit you for 1, but if he could, we would heal because that's how close and dangerous this fight is. Frank is not doing us any favors. He's hitting almost every single turn. Stallings getting that smash, and now he's in the lead again. I don't know what they look like though. You tell me how do they look compare? I've never seen either of them. Maybe I just admitted to not watching the stream because maybe they both stream with Cam. But I ain't about. You know what? You don't just know. So Stallings getting another smash on Frankenstein. So Frankenstein, the way this works is every other turn, every even turn, he blows actually it's every odd turn. He blows some steam. Stallings getting the double smash. He's manipulating this game. That was really good for Stallings, but Hunter's still getting a really clean one. Hunter's really not that far behind. Stallings getting all these smashes and stuff, but Hunter's just playing real solid, and he's still keeping up even without that luck. So I was going to say that Frankenstein blows steam every other turn, and then attacks you on those turns that he's not blowing steam. So you have a safe turn each time, just so you'll always be, if you've survived the hit, you'll always be able to at least heal after it. So they'll be talking to Frank here. Now that you've defeated Frank, he's like your best friend. He gives you a full restore if you walk in and out, or walk into the arcade and back out and talk to him. He's real buddy pal with you. So Stallings going to go up now to the town hall as a hunter. This is more story. They're going to go to I like what Phalix, who's another Earthbound runner. Apparently, canonically, he's called BH Perkle because BH stands for bald head. It's supposed to be bald head Perkle, but I like butthead Perkle. So we got butthead Perkle here. Look at that butthead. and he's going to be giving you the key to the shack. And the way he wants you to know that you're getting this key to the shack is that you are making sure that he's not held responsible for any specific like things that go wrong. Like you're breaking the law by going into the shack, but as long as he's not accountable, you can do whatever you want. So we'll see both these runners go back to the drugstore, withdraw some money, and then they're going to be buying some burgers from the burger shop. The burgers are for safety. We'll be needing it for the next boss fight, which is probably one of the worst in this entire run. Stalin's having some trouble with the ATM. Definitely just stood there mashing for a while. So Hunter takes a lead by not just kind of checking aimlessly and actually checks the ATM. So that's how close these two runners are. We can see possibly a big lead gained here just based on this next section. So this is unfortunately for our viewers and even for the runners, it's not great. This is the only grinding section of the run. We have to grind until level 8 on these slugs. So we'll be going into Giant Step, and then there's these slugs that spawn on the bottom. They spawn on all floors, but specifically you'll see them stick to the bottom for at least a little bit because there's another type of enemy that look exactly like slugs that start spawning on the 2nd and 3rd floor. And we can tell what those are based on like the number of them that spawn in a formation, but for the most part we want to stay on this bottom floor because slugs will tend to spawn in groups of 4. Sometimes they'll be wonky and spawn in like groups of 2 or 3 if they're really like strange and stupid. But you see Hunter there getting his first pack there, although some of them didn't join the fight. That has to do the reason for that is because if there's enough enemies on screen, there's like extra lag that is added to the game, and sometimes also there's enemies off screen that the game is trying to add to the fight but they can't actually join. So you see it happening to Stallings there too. Stallings getting to a single slug and he auto kills it. So that's one of the nice things about this game. If your offense is high enough, the game will just be like, you know what, you're just so ridiculous that it doesn't matter that you got into this fight. You're just that much stronger than this enemy. So he did now. So Stalin's getting these individual slugs. This is technically a little bit faster and also more ideal. So each of these chances that Stallings just got, he just got 4 slug chances. He has a 1 out of 128 chance to get a bomb. As opposed to when you fight a 4-pack and they all join as one, that's only 1 chance to get it because item drops are determined at the beginning of battle. And so CC Hunter here, this is technically only 1 chance at the 1 out of 128 drop, even though there's 4 slugs. The game checks it right at the beginning. So Stallings getting yet again the single slug fights, and we could potentially see a bomb drop as a result of it. Yeah, Boing putting on the chat, it's more ideal to get the cursed bomb. In general, if you get the bomb, you die. But that's just bad luck. That's not like the bomb is super helpful and it's supposed to be very useful. But you sometimes just get the worst luck when you get the bomb. It seems because the game wants to balance out the karmic justice, so you can't get too much good RNG. So you see both these runners doing a similar strat at the as far as slugs are going. They just kind of despawn this first plate and go back and forth. And Hunter right now at his 3rd 4-pack, so he's at 12 slugs. Remember, we need 22 to get to level 8. Stallings still on 8 slugs. He's having some trouble here, finding some more slugs. He's got his 12-pack. So Hunter about 1 slug pack ahead right now. That's not that much. They're still very, very close, and Hunter could get some bad slug luck. But as I say that, he just finds some more slugs. So now this is potentially a 4-pack. Yeah, so now he's at 16 slugs. He's probably going to make his way up to the 3rd floor now and hope for a 6-pack up top. Or if he wants to play it safe, he can still look for slugs at the bottom. It's just a little bit slower just because it's less ideal pathing, and you end up fighting 2 extra slugs usually. So Stallings trying to walk left and live the dream, but unfortunately game's not really complying. Stallings having some pretty bad slug luck. Hunter here going to stutter this mouse, and then he's likely going to start heading up the rope now. So Hunter kind of pulling away. That's a pack of slugs right there. You can tell because there's 4 of those slug sprites right next to each other, so you know they can't be Antoids because they would never spawn like that if they were Antoids. So Hunter now at 20 slugs. He just needs 2 more, so he could actually like fight some Antoids if he wanted to. It's kind of dangerous, but it would be faster than fighting 6 slugs. So Stallings now on his 16 pack. So Hunter once again still has about a 1 pack lead, but he's pulling away as well. So we'll see as he heads to the top. So that's an Antoid, and that's 2 Antoids or an Antoid and a slug. It's kind of impossible to tell like which of those 2 formations it'd be, but you can tell immediately that it's going to be one specific thing. So you see Hunter, he's likely going to start out this. These are, because of how far away these things spawn from each other, you know that can't be 4 slugs. They spawned one group of 2 on the left and one group of 2 on the right, which means that it's not what he wants. And now he gets, I think, is that a 4 pack? Is it still a 6 pack? It is a 6 pack. So this is going to take a little bit longer. But if Stallings gets the 6 pack right away, he'll make up some time, because now Hunter has fought 26 slugs. So he's fought 4 extra slugs. No, I killed Titanic Ant right now in the world record. So Stallings not getting the good luck he wants. He wants a 6 pack up here, but it's not happening. So he's going to have to despawn that door. Hunter here got 5 offense from that level up. That's very important to note. He's probably going to check his status here just to see his stats. Or he just might feel confident that he has 24 offense. 24 offense is the number you want to see, specifically so that you can auto kill Antoids. He might feel confident that the 5 offense means he has 24 offense, or he just might stutter everything. But he didn't check his status, so he has 24 offense. Yeah, so you can have 23 offense there, which means you don't auto kill him, and he would have to fight that Antoid like normal. But he was pretty confident in it, and I mean, I guess he was right. Getting 5 offense on the level up doesn't guarantee that you have 24 offense, though. It's just a higher likelihood. So he was playing, I guess, it's just a statistics game there. But Hunter making his way over to Titanic Ant. Stallings unfortunately getting trolled by these slug spawns. I don't really agree with this style of trying to spawn it. It's not a bad idea, but it's definitely it doesn't always work. That's not true, Siri. That's definitely not true. I'm 100% positive that's not true. I have gotten 5 offense at level plus 5 offense at level 8 and had 23 offense. So Hunter, he got the 2 rockets off. Titanic Ant shielding himself quite a bit. I didn't see how much damage the rockets did, but it in general they do around 70. Titanic Ant has 235 HP, so if they both do about average, he's at 140. That smash instantly kills his shield, which is really good for Hunter. Hunter probably gonna close this out now. Yeah, that was a 31 hit, pretty good. Stallings here in a trolley Antoid fight. He did not red swirl on purpose. There's no situation that you're gonna red swirl on purpose. Actually, there's one. There's one later on for a death warp we do, but we're not doing the death warp right now. He's probably gonna have to run from this. I would be running right now. He's gonna die. If he doesn't run from this, he will die. He has a really good chance to run now. Yeah, he has to run. But unfortunately, Hunter now has a pretty massive lead, which is unfortunate for Stallings. He's really not getting that's slugs right there. That's guaranteed slugs. Oh, Stallings not recognizing it, and he's despawning it. Those were definitely slugs up top. And he didn't recognize it. And maybe he didn't feel like it wasn't enough lag, but those were for sure slugs. So Stallings making some judgment errors as well. Is just getting some bad luck, and Hunter on his way out, and Stallings still trying to get to level 8. And this is probably a heartbreaker for Stallings because he was doing pretty well on slugs, and then this happened. I personally, I don't like this walking back and forth of the top floor. Like, it feels better because you can feel out the lag of the six but those are slugs. Yeah, he recognized it at the last second. It feels better because if I move back and forth and I feel the lag, then I know it's a 6-pack. But you end up wasting more time having to stutter away from antoids and slugs that I just walk in and out of the door. And you can get trolled by that too. But it's more consistent and you don't get red swirled by antoids if you have inconsistent stuttering and other things like that. So in general, I don't like it. Stallings getting 7 offense on his level up. Guarantee you he has 24 offense. Now, 7 is definitely a guaranteed 24 offense stat growth. But I've gotten 5 offense on level 8 and still had 23 offense. You can get some pretty bad offense rolls. It's not common, but it's happened. But Stallings is likely not going to check his status for his offense. He's probably just going to go straight into Titanic Can. He needs 2 butterflies though because he's out of psychic points. Hunter here. So when he left Giant Step, there was a cop like, "Hey, you broke the law. Did you read the sign that says you broke the law?" And he's and you're just like, "No." And he's like, "Well, come to the police station later." And then you do, and you fight a bunch of cops. So Hunter here is going to fight 4 cops and strong. You see 5 cops there, but the last one's a bit of a chicken. So Hunter is going to be using, specifically, he's going to be looking at his HP to determine like when he wants to heal. So he's at 55 right now, which is actually the threshold for when you want to heal. So now he's under. He's going to use a burger right now. If he's at like 35 or below, he's going to use a life up because he just wants to get kind of the most, I guess, bang for his buck as far as healing goes. Hunter having pretty okay cops right now. I think he'd use 2 burgers on that cop. Still got 2 more cops to go. Stallings got trolled by an antoid fight right at the door. Which is unfortunate. He's probably going to have to use a burger here, or he might use the cookie and just go with that. I'd probably just use the cookie. And then be 70 HP, I think is fine. Not anyone's full HP. I think the 7 HP at that point is kind of negligible. I don't think it's that important. It's not like Frank where that 7 HP is going to really matter that much. Like, you might rock in. If he hits you first turn anyway, when you rock in, you're probably going to heal you no matter what. So the 7 HP to me is negligible. So he hit for 48. And it turns out that 7 HP was a little bit less negligible than I thought, because that was for 48. He would have 22 HP right now, which you can mash out, but it would be kind of tough. So you see doing the second rockin' and hitting for 37. That's his strong attack. We see 2 rockins hit, so he's like about 160, 170 damage taken. Ant really hitting hard only. So there's his weak attack finally. His weak attack does 20, which is not even that weak, but it's just relative. So defense down, that's what you want to see. It's a wasted turn. It lowers your defense by 1, which means you take 1 extra point of damage, which in the grand scheme of things, just the RNG rolls of him hitting can do 1 or more damage. So we see Hunter on strong here. He's going to be doing 2 rockins. Strong has 140 HP. And so 2 rockins on average will kill him every time. They both did 80, so it was about 20 overkill. The strong in general, if you have over about 70 HP, should be a free kill every time. Although he can smash you and ruin your dreams. But Hunter having some pretty good cop luck there, and getting out with a 28, like 37 Onet, something like that, which is a pretty strong Onet pace. Anything sub 30 is fairly strong, so this is looking like a good race for Hunter. He's not out of the woods yet. There's still plenty of run to go. There's still plenty of chances for Stallings to catch up, but Hunter does have about like a 4 or 5 minute lead right now. And that was just based on mostly like Stallings unable to find slugs at all. So Hunter going to be walking to Tucson now, which is the second area. He's probably going to be picking up this burger because I guess he has enough burgers in inventory. You need at least 1 food item to give to Apple Kid, who is an NPC that we'll be seeing later. And that burger usually fits that bill. But Hunter may have just had such a nice cops that he has enough burgers that he can still give 1 to Apple Kid and be okay. So one of the first things you'll see Hunter doing, he specifically is going to go into the department store and withdraw a bunch of money. A part apart from giving Apple Kid money, food, you need to give him money. He wants $200. Why? He's an inventor. He wants to invent stuff, but he needs funding to do it. You see Hunter withdrawing 570. Normally it'd be like 500 in like a regular glitches run, because he is saving now to do a death warp. And when you die, the nice thing about Earthbound is when you die, anything you did while you were alive still is like logged in memory. So all the flags you set off, all the bosses you defeated, all the XP you gained and stuff like that, all that still retains. What the game does is when you die, you go back to either your last save point or the last like major like game provided save point, which thankfully for us, there's no game provided save point. So we get to save in Tucson and then death warp back to Tucson because we're gonna have to come back here later after this next area. And since the game kind of just retains everything that happens, you get the party members you acquired, all the XP and stuff, and it just takes half your money and you revive with no psychic points, and everyone but Ness is dead. So normally you'd want to withdraw $500, but in Boogie percent, it's more optimal to withdraw more, so that when you death warp, you have $100 by, and you don't have to withdraw again after the death warp. Hunter getting some cops. There's a cop enemy there. It's just an RNG. He's just getting stuck on the tree. That's a nice thing about this area. There's a lot of nice trees to get enemies stuck on, but there are some open areas too that can make it pretty stressful. Hunter's seeing a butterfly. He needs 2 butterflies, but that one was a bit too out of the way, so he's not going to bother with it. Stalin's having a pretty rough go of it on this first cop. He outsped him there, but he's at 57 HP. He's in the safe range, technically. If he gets smashed, he won't be. He might opt to heal if he's not feeling particularly frisky. But I would bash. He's going for the heal. That's fine. He outsped, which is just RNG. It's unfortunate. I don't know if I explained it, but cops have 2 types of attacks, weak and strong. It's a very common archetype for enemies, having a weak and a strong attack. Crushing Chop is their strong attack, and when it says is attacking, it's just their regular attack. So you want to see the weak attack as much as possible, because Crushing Chops hurt. They hurt quite a bit. And thankfully Stallings got through that one pretty okay. Hunter there, you see him, he's in Peaceful Rest Valley right now. This place sucks. This place is not a fun place to be in. It's got one of those ironic names. It's called Peaceful Rest Valley. In Japanese, it's actually called Grateful Dead Valley. But because there's a band called the Grateful Dead, they changed it to avoid like any possible copyright stuff. There's actually a bunch of stuff like that in the Japanese version. As far as like things they had to change in localization to try and avoid specific copyright and stuff like that. And even then, there's still just quite a bit all over the place. So Stallings here at Strong, he heals on first turn, and he's going to double rock. And Strong has a lot of wasted turns. He does have a weak and a strong attack, much like everything else in the game. But he also has these turns where he loses his temper and just gets real angry and stuff. And those are what we want to see every single time. So double rockin' takes it. He gets the boiled eggs. It's I think it's like a 1 in 32 drop, something like that. It's worthless. It's nice healing item he has, but it doesn't do anything other than just letting me point out that it's a rare drop. It actually might just be like a 1 in 8. I don't even know if it's 1 in 32. It's not common though. Yeah, that's one of the things that people say. Is it called Peaceful Rest Valley because people rest in peace there? It could be. It could very well be that. It's one of those. It's a violent place, and we're gonna see Hunter going into the thick of it very soon as Stallings makes his way to Tucson. He's probably gonna pick up that butterfly. It's a little bit out of the way because butterflies, in general, they want to make you work for it, right? They need you to get that cardio. You need to get that cardio in. So when you go towards a butterfly, if you're in like the aggro range of a butterfly, so to speak, which is just like being near them, they will specifically walk away from you. And so if they give you the workaround like that, then you can lose some time just chasing butterflies. But Stallings actually got 2 butterflies back to back there, so he's set on butterflies. He doesn't need the butterflies later on. I think Hunter still only has 1, so he's gonna need 1 more before he goes into this next area called Happy Village. So we're gonna see here. I didn't really explain it. Some plot happened. It's barely plot, but do you see this iron pencil statue? Well, the reason we need to invest in Applecade is because Applecade made us an invention called the pencil eraser, which erases pencils as a concept. He tells you don't use this near a pencil store, which means that his invention can identify pencils and erase them. So I mean, you can tell Applecade's already a genius based on that. So Hunter here, he's going to be doing a specific movement. He could go up and around as opposed to what he's doing right now, but he wants the more consistent like spawns from this. There's specific ways you can move in Peace Forest Valley to avoid certain spawn triggers. Yeah, Hunter getting the second butterfly there. Stallings, I think, yeah, here he goes. He's gonna be going to Applecade now. Hunter, you see that diamond there? So the diamonds, if you remember how crows move, they can move only left and right. Diamonds and UFOs are very similar, but they have a faster speed at which they swoop around. And they also, unlike crows, will swoop around at random even when they're not aggroed onto anything. They just move around and zip around. They're very fast and they're very scary. But Hunter having a very, very good Peace Forest Valley. You see that tree there? That's an enemy. But they're slow. If you're already walking in a cardinal direction, which is left, up, right, or down, as opposed to diagonal, you're faster than those enemies. So you saw him like go right and down. And once he was ahead of that tree, he didn't have to worry about getting into a fight. So Hunter down Happy Village. That was a really good Peace Forest Valley. He's going to be buying some equipment. He's going to be buying the Sandlot Bat to give us some extra offense for pretty much just this area. We don't really use it again, but it's extremely useful. And he's gonna be buying the Holmes hat, which will give him some extra defense. He could technically skip it if he wanted to, but it's not really worth the risk in my opinion. It's something that like normally in like glitchless PB attempts, manipulation is allowed, but manipulation is not allowed in Boogie Percent, just because not everyone knows that you have one chance to hit it, and if you drop it, you lose 10 minutes. So doesn't make for very interesting races. So we don't allow it in Boogie Percent. So, but when we do manipulation, we're at a lower level than like this non-manipulated thing we're doing right now. This non-manipulated thing, this is the thing. So a lot of us runners are used to like taking more damage from this fight coming up. And if you don't buy a Holmes hat, it's equivalent to as if you did manipulation. You take like 20, 23, 25 damage per hit, as opposed to the 17, 16 we'll be seeing on Hunter's screen. Yeah, Hunter bought 3 croissants, which is ambitious. He wants to hoard croissants, I guess. I also think he just does not want to die at car painter at all. 3 croissants is kind of overkill, in my opinion. At most, I think you need 2. So he does a Rockin' here. He's looking for the Rockin' to deal 94 damage to these cultists, and he's also looking for them to not successfully call for help. So you saw a call for help attempt, but it didn't work. Fun fact, and I get to point it out now, Ness's Rockin', which is his like main damage spell, has a chance to miss. It's one of the few spells that does. It's like one of 2 spells, and only you can only say the second spell has a chance to miss because the second spell is lightning, and it can miss, but the calculation's different. Rockin', like the way that lightning works is it has an n over 4 chance to hit a target, where n is the number of enemies that it can target. So if in that fight there's 3 enemies, so lightning would have a 75% chance to hit something. Rockin', on the other hand, it does a roll of damage between 40 and 120, but at first it checks to see if it missed a target entirely, and that calculation is based on the calculation between the enemy speed and Ness's speed and stuff like that. It's like 2 times the enemy speed minus Ness's speed, all that divided by 5, and that's a percent chance to miss. So it gets real frustrating. Some enemies will be really prone to dodging the Rockins. Cultists aren't necessarily one of them. There's like a 10% chance at most. I think I'm being generous there. But we do so many attempts and we rock in so many cultists that just by the power of statistics, it happens. And sometimes it happens when we really don't want it to. So Hunter here got past that second cultist. That's the second scripted fight. He's going to be making his way to Car Painter now. Car Painter is the boss of this area. Car Painter is a scripted fight. What that means is that his turns are scripted. So you could die at car painter. It's not that scripted. But his turn order is scripted. So his first turn, he's going to try and hit you with lightning, which thankfully we got the Franklin badge. We wouldn't be able to start this fight without it. So if he does lightning, it reflects back at him. So that's what we want to see. His second turn, he'll always life up. His third turn, he will hit you. And then the fourth turn is another lightning attempt. The fifth turn, he puts up a psychic shield. And the sixth turn, he hits you. And that repeats into infinity as long as the fight continues. But Hunter getting some really good lightning RNG. He had 3 out of 4 lightnings hit and reflect. And now we have Hunter getting out of Carpenter at like a 40-25. This is a pretty good pace. This is like 105 pace. I don't know. I don't think Hunter's PB is a 106, so he might be on PB pace right now. You see Stallings getting pincered here in Peaceful Rest Valley. He despawned it, though. It was real good stuff. We'll see how Stallings can make it through Peaceful Rest Valley. Hunter had a really good one. But Stallings right now, it's not looking too bad. He's doing some good movement. It looks inoptimal, but it increases the chance that you won't have to deal with spawns. So it is ideal movement. If he moves on the left side of this tree, then he really knows his stuff. No, he moves on the right side of the tree. So if you move on the left side of that tree, it reduces the chance that like trees will spawn above you. Oh, pincered. You want to take the tree fight. Or do this. Oh, Stallings. That was some good stuff. So I probably would have taken the tree fight. I wouldn't have been as risky as that. But you know, I mean, I guess Stallings got me on that one. You win this round, Stallings. That was some ridiculous juking right there. Really using the terrain to his advantage. Stallings having to dip down here to despawn the sprout. Yeah, that one was a bit too ambitious. I would have just gone downwards to despawn the sprout and then gone upwards. The diamond is scary, but there's so many trees there that it's actually really easy to avoid that diamond in that scenario. But Stallings maybe not familiar with like getting things stuck in that area, so he made this call. It's not necessarily a bad call, but it's not the one I would have made. But then again, I was wrong before. I would have gotten to a tree and tried to run, and he made the better decision. So there's a lot of decision making that goes into this game that kind of determines what type of runner you are, and it's hard to say what's the best overall, because there's a lot of subjectivity, because it's a lot of like, well, when I do this, I feel like it works more for me. And the game has so much RNG that you can't really dispute that. Like, you can bring up hard facts and you can bring up hard statistics, and that doesn't mean anything to a lot of people like me. I don't put a lot of faith in statistics for the most part. You can say statistically, you have a chance to do this well in this area, and it might be like the area that kills me the most. So I'm gonna be like, well, that statistics is nonsense. It's just stupid. It doesn't do anything for me. So Hunter here, he's trying to die to this mole. This is the death warp. This mole has a chance to confuse himself. Stallings with that really nice crow juke. I'm liking it a lot. And he has a chance to confuse himself, and he's doing it right now. He's making his dreams come true. He's just real confused, and he's feeling strange, man. And Hunter might be getting a little frustrated. I would not recommend. The mole has hit himself so much at this point that you can't really bash the mole now to wake him up. And also, you shouldn't do it in general. The mole may kill himself here, though. The mole may actually confuse himself so much that he kills himself, and then Hunter might gain a level. But this is a real bad death warp. We'll see. Oh, there we go. He finally got killed. So Hunter probably breathing a sigh of relief there. That was not a good death warp, though. So Stallings could potentially make up some time if he has a better death warp, but Stallings is still pretty far behind. You saw that one of that Rockins hit the closest for 97 damage, got 94 HP, so it's a one-shot. That's what you want to see in that fight. That's the main thing you want to see. Because it also gets to let you conserve your psychic points for Car Painter. The more psychic points you have, the more Rockins you can do on him. So Stallings is out of healing items. He might pick up the croissant in the cultist house. I think he kind of didn't realize he was this low on the healing items. And now Hunter, he's back in Tucson. He's got to hit a bunch of story triggers. So he's got to go talk to this dude, then go take Paula home, and then go to Bergen Park to get some free money, and then he goes and watch the show. So I'm going to be focusing on Stallings here and see how his Happy and Car Painter goes. Just because Hunter right now is doing just some like story cleanup that you have to do. It's just some necessary plot. So the second cultist, the main thing you want to see is you do not want to see him call for help. You want him to hit you, actually, because you want to be at a lower HP value for the death warp. So you want him to rough you up a little bit. Obviously not too much, because you don't want to die. But it's better to have him hit you than have him not hit you. So first turn to call for help, that's the opposite of what you want to see. And the Stallings did not cancel out an auto fight correctly. So the auto fight, not doing it, or he's just continuing the auto fight. I don't agree with that at all. I think he really needs to get out of this auto fight. But no, he's still in it, and he might die here. Here's a croissant. 60. He's got 3 HP. The croissant's gonna put him at 68. Call for help. Boom. He really needs to be rocketing right now. Like, he needs to cancel auto fight and do a rocket. He's gonna die here if he doesn't. You cannot run from these guys. It's a scripted encounter. Oh, there's another call for help, but that one didn't work. There's another call for help. That one didn't work. All right, he's hitting him. 20 HP. Nice smash. I think he would not have survived otherwise. I think because they would have taken 2 more bashes and he would have died. That was a really clutch smash. Obviously, that's RNG, but that was a really important smash. Stallings is going to die otherwise. But Stallings has no healing items. He's using a life up to be at full HP. He's going to have 1 rocket and a life up. I hope he doesn't auto fight on Car Painter. Or else we're going to have some mad runners, and we may possibly see a glitch, which is it won't invalidate his run because the glitch doesn't serve to help you in any way, and it's like a thing you can very easily do accidentally. But we'll see if he's cognizant of it. But you see him not auto fighting already. 1 lightning reflect. All right, got 1, and you're gonna hit here a smash. That's really good. It's gonna rock in. It's not gonna kill him because of the life up. But this bash, like these next 2 bashes made, that's 107 rocking right there. That was really high. Oh, another smash. Wow, Stallings on a smashing spree. Stallings has had an insane amount of smashes this run. He smashed Frank. He smashed Frankenstein twice. Smashed Ant. He double smash. He smashed that cultist. He double smashed Car Painter. Like, he's on a smashing spree. Can't be stopped. But Stallings actually made up some time there. If he has a good death warp, he can definitely shave off some minutes of this deficit between him and Hunter. Definitely not out of it yet, but it's getting more and more bleak as the run goes on. He might try a PRV death warp. 82. So me personally, this is one of those statistics things where it's like there's confirmation bias and stuff like that. I personally just do the mole death warp no matter what my HP is at, just because getting to the mole is the fastest, and I've had the mole kill me at 120 HP faster than it takes for sometimes having 10 HP for the death warp. So it's a lot of just throwing coins in the air and hoping that they all end up in heads, right? But that's a lot of the game in general. So if you were to go into PRV and get a UFO and spin and robo fight, it would be technically a little bit faster than a trolling mole, but I still think a clean mole is the fastest no matter what. So you say Kappa, but I've had it happen. I've had the mole smash himself and kill himself, and then I had to fight another mole. I have had that happen. I've had that happen several times. It's not it's pretty uncommon, but it's you do enough runs and you start seeing all the crazy stuff this game can do. Yep, it's happened to Serium, it's happened to Yuna. It's not there's a lot of runners that have had it happen. You had 2 moles kill himself in the same run. Yeah, so Stallings going for the mole is doing what I do. He might feel the same way as I do. He could get a really bad mole. He could get a great mole. We'll see. Absent-minded, that's at least not confusing himself. Killed Paula. Wrong kid. Killing Paula is useful, but you really want Ness to die. Hit Ness, that's good. 34 is a little low. Now he's feeling strange. But feeling strange, he still has a chance to hit you. He missed there. Another chance. He's gonna hit himself or Ness? Hit himself. Alright, so he knocked himself out of the confusion at least. He's absent-minded. Just not feeling it today. Mole for both burners. It's just not having it. He doesn't feel like it. It's just come back tomorrow. So it's not a good death warp for Stallings either. Hunter had a similar death warp. Another chance to hit. It hit Ness and he killed him nice. So I still think that was faster than Hunter's, but it wasn't. Stallings really needed a faster one to really gain some time on Hunter, and unfortunately, that one wasn't it. So they're probably about 3 minutes apart at this point. Probably still around 3 to 4 minutes. Hunter would have to get some exceptionally bad RNG to lose this. Still very possible. Winters is an RNG clown fiesta, but it's looking more and more bleak for Stallings as this race continues, and it really kind of all just originated from that slug grind that just went so poorly for him. Because overall, I think Stallings has he had a kind of whatever happy just because of the second cultist fight, but his PRV was decent, and overall I think he's playing pretty well. I mean, there's some decisions that I don't agree with, but just because I don't agree with them doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means I don't agree with them. I definitely, on the cultists, I think if they call for help, you have to rock, and you can't be greedy with your psychic points there. I think you needed to have rockin' sooner. The slug grind, I disagree with the method of trying to find the 6-pack, but once again, it's like a preference thing. So I'm not really in the right in that argument. I think I'm right, so that's how it works. Still Hunter here. That's more plot that's happening, but you get kidnapped by a spooky, sexy lady, and then wow, Stallings is panicking because there's like a spawn in every single location in Tucson. He's fighting an annoying old party man, which is incidentally one of my favorite enemies in the game. And then he smashed Paula. That free's gonna kill him though, so Paula will survive. So one of the nice things about Earthbound with the rolling HP mechanic is if your animation for your attack goes off and you're at 0 HP, and it kills them, it's like, okay, well, you survived. That's fine. And it puts you back at 1. So Paula gains some levels there. But that's real bad luck from Stallings. I think Stallings is maybe panicked a little bit. He had a hippie down south. He had an unassuming local guy up north, and then an annoying old party guy came in from the west, and it's just like, it's time to party. So Hunter here is starting Winters. This is the solo Jeff section of the run. Although you're not really solo for part of it, because you have your good friend Tony for this beginning part, and you're in a boarding school. Look, there's Maxwell. Look at that dude. So Maxwell is a jerk. I think he's supposed to be like another student, but I always thought he was like a teacher. But he's here, and he's just like, oh, you want to open the lockers? Well, then you should take this key to open the lockers, man. And then you go, and it's a bent key. And he's just like, oh, it was real bent, right? You remember when I told you it was bent? Well, good thing I have an invention that will let you open up these lockers, man. And you're just like, why didn't you give me that? Come on, man. Sorry for the inconvenience. Like, no, you're wasting my time. I'm trying to speed run. You're being a big doo-doo head about it. It's not cool. So Hunter here, he's gonna go to 2 specific lockers. He gets the Holmes hat and the pop gun. That's gonna give him some extra defense and offense. He's gonna equip him there if he does the. There he goes. He equips them, and then he'll be leaving. So Tony accompanies you through it, and then fulfills his life purpose as a step stool. And now we get a new party member, sort of. They're not like an official party member. They're sort of like temporary party members we get. So you get this pack of bubblegum because that monkey likes bubblegum. And you give it to the bubble monkey. Here's the bubble monkey right there. He blows the bubble and he's like, you know what? You gave me a piece of bubblegum. I will join you. So now we have Bubble Monkey. So Bubble Monkey casually is adorable and has a lot of personality. You see Bubble Monkey get distracted easily and stop, and you're like, oh, that's adorable. It's like really, it's different than any other thing that follows you. Everything else does not work like that. Unfortunately for a speed run, it's to our detriment because we would be able to avoid a lot of enemies in this area if it wasn't for Bubble Monkey. That dog, he probably could have avoided if it wasn't for Bubble Monkey, but Hunter recognized that he couldn't avoid it, and also probably just wanted the extra level for Protoplasm coming up, so he just took the fight. You lose about like 15-20 seconds for doing that, but it is for safety and it is a race, so I don't disagree with doing things like that. In like a PB attempt, probably wouldn't do it. You'd probably just despawn, but I think I agree with Hunter's call there. Plus, you have a 50% chance to get a bread roll from that dog, so it's a nice little extra healing item. So you eat some stew, and then you fix the broken spray can, which Hunter normally drops, but I think he's been traumatized by Boing. Boing dropped the broken spray can, and then died to Boogie Tent because of it. Not really because of it. Boing says it was because of it, but correlations, but we got 2 cutscenes happening right now. Stallings on his way to Threed in that Runaway 5 bus with the jamming music, and Hunter with our good friend Tessie. Tessie is one of my favorite things in Earthbound. Look at that face. Look at that face. Such a great face. Look at that. Look at that smirk. He doesn't care about anything. Oh god, yeah, I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it to crash his emote combination. Tessie with a gun is the best emote combination ever. Tessie with the gun works so well too, because like Tessie's so emotionless that he totally, like, I couldn't possibly discount the possibility that Tessie is like this horrible beast with like murderous intent, but it's just super chill about it and has that smirk the entire time. So Stallings is going to be making his way to the graveyard. We'll see how that goes for him. Doing some good movement to make sure there's no spawns. And this is actually ideal, that pathing. If there was no spawns up there, I think he'll be okay. Oh, some flies. You see Hunter moving that specific way. He moves diagonal down left, and diagonal down right. He's doing that to despawn an 100% goat spawn. It's the same method used at the beginning of the run to despawn a bunch of sharks. The hospital. Hunter not even attempting first proto skip, and Stallings having a rough time in graveyard. Well, the proto called for help first turn, but the Bubble Monkey smash means that he could potentially kill this first proto on the left in 1 turn. But Jeff missing. That's not it's not what you want to see. All right, Hunter probably going to continue this fight. Goes for the auto fight. Monkey smashing again, which is really good. Because it does not when you smash something, normally when something's confused, if you hit it with a physical attack, it knocks it out of confusion. But smashes don't count. So if you hit something while they're sleeping and you smash it, it won't wake them up. Unless they just naturally have like the wake up chance. There's a chance you just wake up on your own, but it won't be because of the smash. It's the same thing for confusion. So Hunter getting a real nice duck skip there. He's gonna be going for second proto skip. Second proto skip is all RNG. See Monkey stopped, so he's got to fight this proto. But the duck skip is worth more in time than the second proto skip. As long as you don't die. Ooh, it's looking pretty rough. If he gets hit one more time, he's dead. He needs to run. Is he canceling auto fight? You need to run. You have to run, and you got the run chance. So he had about like a 20-30% chance to run there. So it was real lucky he got that. If he died, he would have to possibly fight Duck again. Or he didn't fight Duck. He skipped the Duck, so he would possibly have to fight Duck. Unless he skipped it again, which can happen, but dying sucks. So Hunter making his way through Pond Cave now. Pond Cave sucks. There's a lot of spawns, and it's very narrow. So it's very easy to get into fights here. If you're very competent in stuttering, you can avoid a lot of fights by just brute forcing your way through it. You'll see Hunter attempt to stutter here. He probably wants to Well, now he's kind of got himself in a pickle. Normally, so one of the things you can do to make stuttering easier for... Oh, he has 3 HP. He's gonna try and run first turn. He's gonna die. He's dead. So one of the nice things about once you enter Pawn Cave, it will when you die, you respawn out here. But once you enter Pawn Cave, it gets rid of all the enemies in Brick Road, so he won't have to worry about that duck, because the duck, once you enter Pawn Cave, it just kind of clears out all the enemies. So it's a time loss, but it's not a huge deal. Because he can just walk right through here. The duck, even though he skipped the duck should still be there. Once you enter Pawn Cave, it eliminates all the enemies from Brick Road. It might even be when you just leave Brick Road initially, it eliminates all the enemies in here. But so one of the things I was going to say about Hunter, the method, he had a lot of spawns that like kind of spread out and made it hard to stutter. One of the things you can do is move and pull enemies down towards you to give yourself a better path to stutter past them. So all his enemies were on the top side, and he kind of wanted to squeeze to the middle. So what he could have done is moved and then had them move downwards to create a path at the top. And so that's one of those things that's like an advanced tactic that you'd have to like kind of think about it or see someone do it and be like, oh, I'll try that. But Hunter, unfortunately, kind of just got himself into a pickle real quick. He's going to be stuttering past this mouse, and he gets the stutter. Stallings making his way out of the boarding school now. Hunter was still in Pawn Cave. This is looking like a really nice second room. The second room can be real trolly, but he's getting a pretty clean one right now. So even though he died, the rest of the Pawn Cave seems to be just making up time for him. You got a free entry and almost a free room. This can sometimes take a while. It's just RNG. But getting into the room itself is already like a big accomplishment. This is the last room of Pawn Cave. He has this spawn and one more spawn at the top of the rope that he has to worry about. So he got past this spawn. He's going to pick up this little bottle rocket here. This is for Boogie Tent potentially. And then he's going to use his pack of bubble gum. And Bubble Monkey will eat the gum and fly upwards. Stallings trying to despawn that goat. Goats have really big sprites. So it's harder to despawn them technically. You have to get a certain amount of the enemy off the screen, and it's based on their sprite. So if they have a bigger sprite, you need to walk farther to despawn them. But Stallings just got a nice despawn on the goat by walking to the left and having no enemies over there. Sometimes they can be in your way, and you have to fight one of them. You don't want to fight a goat. A goat is a terrible thing to fight. Hunter, his last bit of RNG he potentially has to deal with is these big boys, these cave boys. But he can just walk up the top like this, and he's good. Cave boys are much like trees in that you can just walk right past them. You're faster. Your natural movement speed is faster than theirs. So as long as you're walking in a cardinal direction, you'll be faster than them. So Stallings now starting the testing animation, while Hunter starts the Skyward animation. So they're both going to be doing. Once again, they will be syncing up cutscenes, but not the right cutscenes. So just be syncing up dead air. So making it real hard for me to commentate, you guys. Come on, man. So Hunter entering the last stretch of the run. This was probably PB pace for him before he died in Pawn Cave. Unfortunately, this is now, it's not PB pace for him because this PB is a 106. He's going to land at about 106. So this is like a 108 pace, something like that. Which is still a strong pace. Anything sub 110 is fantastic. It's what you want to see. But he's obviously probably not thrilled with that death in Pawn Cave. So the options for Stallings to win at this point are for Hunter to die to Boogie Tent, which has happened. Hello Boing, who was last year's champion, died to Boogie Tent in his bracket race and lost because of it. So it is the last hurdle. It's not common to die to Boogie Tent, but it's not impossible, and it's Stallings' last hope of wanting to win this race. He really needs Boogie Tent to do him a solid and kill Jeff. Jeff is our main damage dealer for Boogie Tent. We shoot a big bottle rocket at him. Big bottle rocket has a damage range of 90 to 750. The reason their damage range is so vast is because the way the game works. So you saw Hunter pick up a single bottle rocket. This is bottle rocket, as opposed to a big bottle rocket. So a bottle rocket has a damage range of 90 to 150, and has a chance to miss based on a calculation between the enemies and Jeff's speed. A big bottle rocket shoots 5 of those individual bottle rockets in one item. So the reason the damage range is 90 to 750 is because you can get 90 damage from one bottle rocket hitting, and then 4 of them miss. Ultimo is saying 0 to 750 as a joke, but technically it's 0 and then 90, because you can't get 1 to 89. But there is a chance for all 5 rockets to miss. So 0 damage is a potentiality, and it's happened to some people. Now, it's not technically 0 to 150. It's 0 and then 90. 0 to 150 encompasses 1 through 89. I'm just turbo nerd-splaining you right now. So Hunter landing at about 105. So I'm actually wrong. This is closer to like a 107 pace. Stallings dying to protoplasm. That's the classic. See if Hunter gets a little door tech skip. It's a nice little free time save. But he does the doo-doo method. I don't like that method. That method's real roundabout. I think of doing that method, you basically don't save any time. Oh man, you one up me on the turbo nerd status. I can't out turbo nerd Sirium. It's impossible. He's the truest turbo nerd. So Hunter making a safety save. I don't really agree with the location of the safety save, but he's making it here. I would make if I was gonna make a safety save, I'd do it in the drugstore. I don't know if that's a good thing. I think it's fine. So Hunter making a safety save. I think Hunter saw Hello Boy's Boogie Tent, saw him lose, and was like, where? Like, oh, he got the union there. So Hunter using a little skip sandwich there. Skip sandwich doesn't actually save any time, but it potentially helps you get to Boogie Tent quicker in terms of you might be able to skip an enemy. So Hunter doing defend BBR, which I don't like doing, but people up 289. The big bottle rocket happened, but he used a pack of bubble gun. So even if this bottle rocket hits and these 3 rockets hits, actually the 4 rockets maybe, but we're in potential range where it might not kill him. We'll see what these rockets do. 63 is a little low. Bottle rocket hit. I think he should be okay. We need the rockets to hit specifically. If one of them missed, it'd be pretty bad. Okay, so he gets through it. He probably was not thrilled with that big bottle rocket. The 289. Boogie Tent has 579 HP. And so big bottle rocket has a chance to one-shot Boogie Tent. That's what you want every time. But you don't get what you want every time, so it's unfortunate. But with that solidifies Hunter's win. It's impossible now for Stallings to win unless Hunter decides to not pick up the jar of fly honey, because timing ends at the jar of fly honey. And if Hunter wanted to be a jerk, he could just walk away and then not do anything and then let Stallings win. But Hunter has been pretty hungry for winning in general. Yeah, Hunter's power could go out. It's a good point. Lightning strike. Yep. Freak B attack. So 108.51 for Hunter. And sub 110, which is what he wants to see. He was probably on PB pace for part of that. So he's probably disappointed he didn't get a PB, but he's definitely happy with the win. So Hunter here, as Stallings is going through Pond Cave, see Stallings trying to do a pretty risky stutter, and he decides against it. That's a stutter that I'm a big proponent of because I get really impatient with Pond Cave. And stuttering is something that I generally feel I'm pretty okay at. But it's definitely risky, and you can get yourself pincered by mushrooms and stuff like that. So Stallings making his way through the second room. He's gonna be going to the third room now. And we'll see how it goes for him if he can get it. Oh my god, Hunter has a Hunter has a save where he's got it's from his buzz percent save. He does a category where he keeps buzz the entire time, and he's just got his save where he's got a long train of people. He can make a perfect circle with all those people. So Stallings now, he got through the rope, and there's no mushrooms at the top, so he's gonna make it through there pretty clean. I don't think Hunter could actually have more party members in this because the game freaks out if you have too many party members. Actually, it really doesn't like it. So I think at that point it would probably crash the game because it like I think it's like 6+ party members. And I think he's already at the threshold where the game is not thrilled with his party member status. Buzz putting up that shield. That's part of Buzz's scripted movement. You put up a shield first turn every turn. He's got to put it on 7 people. Picky putting in work. So Stallings getting into the Skyrunner right now. He's got about maybe 4 minutes left in his run. So Stallings still gonna finish this out. He's still finishing out with a pretty strong time. Everyone kind of wants sub 10 and sub 110, and they feel like, oh, if I don't get sub 110, then that's a worthless run. But this is still a pretty good boogie percent time, and considering all the bad things that happened to him, like you can't really. What? Oh no, Hunter, what are you doing? I've never seen some of the things Hunter's doing. Sorry. So I think Stallings played pretty well. Overall, he got some really bad luck in on that. That definitely just kind of put him far behind. Oh wow, it actually hits the trigger. Oh no, is there like something in the way? Oh, it's just an actual barrier there. So I'm getting sidetracked because I'm trying to talk about how Stallings played, and I think he played very well. But also Hunter's doing things I've never seen before, so I'm easily distracted right now. But yeah, I was saying Stallings I think played pretty well. I don't think he played poorly at all. I think he got some really bad luck in some sections. Maybe questionable decision making in some spots, but overall, I think he played fine. Hunter is a very strong runner. Hunter has been my pick to win this tournament because we've always had like a newer runner win the tournament, and Hunter has shown insane improvement and has an insane PB for how long he's been running, and is just a very strong runner in general. It's still we're still in the bracket stages. We're in the top 16 now with that result, and Hunter will have to face off against Erythium. So this match ending finishes our first round of the brackets. It was a 32-man bracket, single elimination from group stages. So now we're in round 2, which is a 16-man bracket. The winner gets to the top 8. And so we have the lineup of the matches as Stallings lands. I don't think he got. I didn't pay attention if he got the door skip or not. But I'll wait for Stallings to finish up. Skipping the teddy bear, I don't really see a point in that, unless he doesn't know that Hunter already won. I mean, he might just be trying to end it as quick as possible, and he just doesn't really like really care about the safety because he knows Hunter won already. But maybe Hunter didn't done in SRL. I'm not in the SRL channel, so I don't know. Maybe Stalling still thinks there's a chance. 409. So that's right around what Boing died to Boogie 10. Drum board is in the channel for some reason. But he has fire, so he should be fine for this. This fire will kill no matter what, even if the rocket misses. Stallings never gets Teddy. That seems needlessly risky to me. I think there's no reason to skip the Teddy unless you know you're super close to your opponent. So you have to go through these level up sequences. You'll know the level up sequences have ended when Jeff hits level 8. No, sorry, level 11. So Jeff has just started gaining levels. He's at level 7. He's gonna be at level 8 here. So once he's at level 11, that'll be the last level up. Stallings had a rough run. Earthbound gave him the business. But overall, I think he played well. I think he just got some really bad luck. It's definitely arguable if Hunter played better. You could definitely just make that argument because he won, but I don't think that Stallings is. I think he's a really strong runner, and he just got handed a bad lot. Just a bad. Oh man, that break screen should just in the ooh. Ooh. But good stuff to both these runners. Congratulations to Hunter for advancing. Thank you so much to Stallings for participating in the Boogie Percent tournament. It's a shame that you got knocked out, but hopefully we'll continue to see more of you in the Earthbound community, and we are really happy that that you're here and stuff. Thank you to everyone who's watching. Thank you to everyone who's participated or helped in any way. You guys are making it. You're killing it. And I really appreciate it. I do not know what's up next on the schedule. I'm going to check that out actually right now. So up next, there's nothing on this channel. We'll probably be hosting one of the other Speedy Gaming channels because there's a link to the past randomizer on Speed Gaming 2. But at 9 p.m., which is in an hour, there is a link to the past randomizer race on this channel. So if you're interested in that, definitely you want to be back here in about an hour. And also just check out probably the host that will be giving to Speed Gaming 2, I'm assuming. Fizo could confirm or deny whether or not that's what we're doing. But at the very least, for sure, in an hour, there will be a link to the past randomizer race and all the randomizer races. The link to the past randomizer, the Super Metroid randomizer, pretty much anything on the Speed Gaming channel is all good stuff. I've been like binge watching it a bunch, so you definitely don't want to miss it. So thank you to everybody. And have a good night.